So guys, this is a giant story that came out a few days ago, and there are really serious implications to this. Bill Owens is the executive producer of the show 60 Minutes. Now, I mean, before I even continue, let me just point out, they've been doing really, really good work in the Trump era. They are the reason why we know a lot of the things we know about their horrific actions, right? I think they were the first ones, to find out that 75%, this was their number, 75% of the people sent to El Salvador, to the Gulag, illegally with no due process, have no criminal record. I think that was them. And then there was another one that came out, another report, I thought it was either Bloomberg or Reuters, that said it's actually 90% of the people have no criminal record. But they're the ones doing the digging, finding out who these people are. They've been doing genuinely good journalism. Like, they've been doing their job. Okay. Well, this guy's the executive producer. He just resigned because he says that 60 Minutes is taking away his journalistic independence, the higher-ups. 60 Minutes has been attacked repeatedly by President Trump as recently as last week. Paramount, that's the parent company, Paramount's top shareholder, Shari Redstone, a longtime friend of President Trump, is eager to get the Trump administration's approval for the sale of the company. So do you understand what's happening here? The government would need to approve the sale of this company. The owner of this company wants that to happen and is friends with Trump. They applied pressure to him to lay off of Trump. They applied pressure to him. Hey, maybe you cover some good things about them. And he goes, I got to step down because I can't do this job the way I should be doing this job and have to do this job where I maintain my integrity, I maintain my honor, and I tell the truth. So he goes, I'm stepping down because I know the direction you want to take this, and that is not journalism. All right, here we go. This is in the New York Times. CBS News entered a new period of turmoil on Tuesday after the executive producer of 60 Minutes, Bill Owens, said he would resign from the long-running Sunday news program because he had lost his journalistic independence. In an extraordinary declaration, Mr. Owens, only the third person to run the program in its 57-year history, told his staff in a memo that over the past months, it has become clear that I would not be allowed to run the show as I have always run it, to make independent decisions based on what was right for 60 Minutes, right for the audience. So, having defended this show and what we stand for, from every angle, over time with everything I could, I am stepping aside so the show can move forward. He wrote in the memo, which was obtained by the New York Times. 60 Minutes has faced mounting pressure in recent months from both President Trump, who sued CBS for $10 billion, and has accused the $10 billion, Jesus Christ, and has accused the program of unlawful and illegal behavior because you criticized me, and its own corporate ownership at Paramount, the parent company of CBS News. Paramount's controlling shareholder, Shari Redstone, is eager to secure the Trump administration's approval for a multi-billion-dollar sale of her company to Skydance, a company run by the son of the tech billionaire Larry Ellison. She has expressed a desire to settle Mr. Trump's case, which stems from what the president has called a deceptively edited interview in October with Vice President Kamala Harris that aired on 60 Minutes. This is how insane and authoritarian and fascist this fucking freak is. He says, you mildly edited an interview you did with Kamala Harris, which, by the way, doesn't even change the substance of what was said. But that, I'm suing you for $10 billion because you edited an interview. Motherfucker, everything on these sorts of shows is edited. This isn't like CNN or MSNBC or Fox News where everything's live. This is like a highly produced show. Fucking of course they were going to edit it. What are you talking about? Oh my God. Legal experts have dismissed that suit as baseless and far-fetched. Oh, you don't say. And Mr. Owens said in February that he would not apologize as part of any prospective settlement. Wow. So in other words, they went to him and were like, we might need you to apologize. He was like, I'm not fucking apologizing. There's no way I'm apologizing. I'm right. I love this guy. Many journalists at CBS, the former home of Walter Cronkite and Mike Wallace, believe that a settlement would amount to a capitulation to Mr. Trump over what they consider standard issue gripes about editorial judgment. That is just factually true, right? They know they'd win the case. They understand that. But again, they care more about getting bought out and having that approved by the government than they care about journalistic integrity. In his memo on Tuesday, Mr. Owens pledged that 60 Minutes will continue to cover the new administration as we will report on future administrations, he added. The show is too important to the country. It has to continue, just not with me as the executive producer. Mr. Owens had also led a recent overhaul of CBS Evening News, the news division's flagship weeknight show. He first worked at CBS as a summer intern in 1988 and was named the executive producer of 60 Minutes in 2019. Mr. Trump has often singled out 60 Minutes for scorn because they do a good job. In 2020, he cut short an interview with Leslie Stahl, I remember this, after he became displeased with her questions. He declined to be interviewed by the program during last year's presidential campaign. See, this is also, remember all the times, we've heard this so many times from like the idiot Rogan Sphere comedians. They're like, bro, Trump will talk to anybody and Kamala hides, bro. Trump will talk to anybody and Kamala hides, bro. Meanwhile, he didn't have a single fucking tough interview the entire election this time around. He wouldn't even go on 60 Minutes. He walked out of a 60 Minutes interview because he didn't like the questions from Leslie Stahl. He didn't show up to a Fox News debate in 2016 because Megyn Kelly was like mean to him or something. Like, he's like the biggest bitch in the world and they pretend like he's macho and like he'll take on anybody. He won't take on fucking anybody. What are you talking about? Every podcast he was on, every show he was on is a hug box. Fox News, Newsmax, One American News Network, Joe Rogan who jacked him off. All those, oh my God. On April 13th, apparently irked by that evening's edition of the show, Mr. Trump accused 60 Minutes of fraudulent, beyond recognition reporting in a social media post and urged his government regulators to strip CBS of its broadcast license. Quote, CBS is out of control at levels never seen before, and they should pay a big price for this, Mr. Trump wrote. So again, nobody is more authoritarian than him. Nobody cares less about freedom of speech than him. He wants everybody to bend the knee. Executives at Paramount and at Skydance took notice of the president's angry comments. That's so crazy. Like listening to what he's... According to three people familiar with internal discussions, settlement talks between Paramount and Mr. Trump are ongoing, and the two sides have chosen a mediator to help resolve the case. So in other words, they're going to bribe him. That's what this settlement is. It's a bribe. Hey, all right, fine, we'll give you $20 million or whatever the fuck, but then in return, you'll approve our us getting bought out, right? Right. In recent months, 60 Minutes has also faced scrutiny from Miss Redstone herself, who complained to CBS executives about a story focused on the Biden administration's handling of the war between Israel and Hamas. Oh boy. One day after that segment aired, a veteran CBS producer, Susan Zirinsky, was appointed to a new role overseeing the news division's journalistic standards. Wendy McMahon, the president of CBS News and Stations, wrote in a separate note on Tuesday that she remained committed to 60 Minutes to ensure that the mission and the work, blah, 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 blah. In other words, hey, 60 Minutes, you flew a little too close to the sun because you told the truth about what was happening to Palestinians and how Israel was murdering them and starving them. And we didn't like that. So here, now we got this new person to oversee what you're doing and make sure it complies with Israeli propaganda. This story has everything. It's got Trump's authoritarianism and fascism. It's got Trump's hatred of free speech. It's got the corruption of wanting to get bought out and needing the government approval. And it's got also censorship for Israel. Oh, I don't even, what is there to say, bro? What is there to say? The only way we get out of this moment is to stand in solidarity as a unified voice. Stand up to this guy. Instead, you have all these people bending the knee to Trump, paying bribes, and the law firms doing pro bono work for him, some universities caving, right? No, you all need to stand. You don't understand. You don't understand. The only way out of this is if we all say no, is if we all say fuck off, is if we all stand up and fight. He should have 0 victories. 0. You should fight. I don't care how much it costs. I don't care. Fight him all the way through on the court case. All the way through. And forget about the goddamn merger. Forget about it. Some things are more important, like maintaining the Constitution and freedom in this country. Some things are more important, like not having a fascist dictator. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. And you guys know, right? The idea, nothing pisses me off more than people who pretend like Trump was the savior of free speech. Because it's not like we didn't know about how much he hated it all along. He sued Ann Selzer because he didn't like her poll. How is that even a thing? What lawyer in their right minds, yeah, let me draft up the letter that we're going to send to sue here. Your poll wasn't good to me. What? What? He sued CBS for how to edit the Kamala interview. We just talked about that. He sued Simon & Schuster, the book company, because he didn't like a Bob Woodward book that had a quote that he didn't like from himself in there. He threatens to de-license news agencies all the time if they criticize him. He's talked about punishing flag burning with a year in jail. All of these things are against the First Amendment. He sued CNN for $475 million for calling election denialism the big lie. He sued Bill Maher for $5 million over a joke Bill Maher told at his expense. He said he supports opening up the libel laws to sue journalists. He called for jailing journalists who reported on the Supreme Court's abortion ruling. He said now repeatedly he wants to deport pro-Palestine protesters, and he's locked up Mahmoud Khalil, he's locked up Ozturk, and they're going to keep going down this road. He gag ordered the EPA from telling the truth on climate change. He arrested and charged 6 journalists with felony rioting. He didn't pardon Assange. He didn't pardon Snowden. He didn't pardon Daniel Hale. He wanted to invoke the Insurrection Act last time, and we just got lucky that there were some guardrails around him that said you're not doing that. And of course, this guy openly called to terminate the Constitution. Well, now he's acting that way. Wake up. It is not a normal time. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.